Hey there. If you feel like your grocery budget needs a serious makeover lately, you're not alone. Prices have been climbing faster than, well. But before you just resign yourself to eating ramen every day, I've got some clever hacks to share with you. We're talking strategies that go way beyond just making a list. First up, let's shatter that myth that you got to be loyal to one grocery store. Think of it like this. If you only shopped at one clothing store, you'd miss out on all the amazing sales happening at other places, right? The same goes for groceries. Instead of just sticking to that one store, try branching out, see what else is in your area. You'll figure out pretty quick which stores have the best prices for what you need most. Maybe one store always has great deals on produce, while another one's better for like pantry staples. So by splitting up your shopping list, you can take advantage of each store's strengths and save a bunch of money overall, without sacrificing quality. Speaking of shopping smart, let's talk about those little plastic rectangles in your wallet. You know, credit cards. So many cards offer cash back or points just for buying groceries. If you're not using a card like that, you're basically leaving free money on the table. You're already spending money on groceries anyway, so why not get a little something back? And here's a pro tip. Some retailers like Costco or Target, they have their own credit cards that give you even more discounts when you shop with them. It's all about stacking those savings. Okay, here's another little secret weapon that a lot of people overlook. Loyalty programs. Seriously, those things are like gold mines for shoppers. Most grocery stores have them, and they're usually free to join. Once you're in, it's like a whole world of exclusive discounts and coupons, and sometimes even points you can redeem for free groceries. Think of it as a bonus for being a regular customer. It takes just a couple minutes to sign up, and the savings add up over time. All right, let's talk about store brands. I know. We all have our favorite name brand products, but trust me on this. Store brands have gotten so much better. In a lot of cases, they're just as good as the name brands, but they're cheaper. Here's a challenge for you. Next time you're at the store, swap out a few of your name brand items for the store brand. You might be surprised by how much you like them. And your wallet will definitely thank you. Sometimes. You won't even notice the difference. Especially for things like, I don't know, pantry staples or frozen veggies. Okay, so we've talked about ways to save at checkout, but what about before you even go to the store? That's where the real magic happens. And that's what we're going to dive into next. So one of the most powerful tools you have is something you can do without even leaving the house. Meal planning. I know, it doesn't sound quite as exciting as like winning a grocery store sweepstakes or something, but seriously, this is how you take control of your budget. When you plan out your meals for the week, you can make a super focused shopping list. And that helps you avoid impulse buys. I know those impulse buys can really blow your budget. Think about it. How many times have you gone to the grocery store without a plan and ended up with a cart full of stuff you didn't even need? Yeah, meal planning keeps you on track. You only buy what you'll use. And it helps you reduce food waste, which is basically like saving money twice. There are tons of meal planning apps and websites out there. Or you can just use a good old-fashioned notepad. Whatever works best for you. Just find a system and stick with it. Speaking of planning, let's talk about snacks. How being smart with your snacks can save you money. We all need a little something to munch on between meals. But those chips and cookies and prepackaged snacks, they can get pretty expensive. The good news is, you don't have to give up snacks. It's all about making smarter choices. Instead of those pricey prepackaged things, why not make your own snacks at home? Things like popcorn, or trail mix, or even just like fruit and veggie platters, are not only cheaper, but they're also way healthier. Plus, you can control the ingredients and the portions, which is always a good thing. Here's another tip. Buy snacks in bulk, then portion them out into smaller containers. That way you won't overeat, and those half-eaten bags won't go stale. Okay, let's move on to another strategy that can really help you stretch your grocery budget. Stocking up on sale items. When you see something you use a lot on sale, don't be afraid to buy extra, especially for things that last a long time, like canned goods, pasta, or frozen foods. Just make sure you have room to store it all. Of course, this only works if you actually use the stuff before it goes bad. So pay attention to those expiration dates and try to use the oldest items first. A well-organized pantry or freezer could be a lifesaver. Flexibility is key. Okay, here's a strategy that can be a real game changer. If you have the space for it, buying in bulk, this can save you a ton of money, especially for things you use a lot and that have a long shelf life, like rice, beans, pasta, frozen fruits and veggies. Of course, this only makes sense if you have enough room to store everything, and you're actually going to use it all before it goes bad. If you have a big family, or if you cook for a lot of people, buying in bulk can be awesome. But if you live alone, or you don't have a lot of storage space. It might not be the best option for everything. Here's another tip. Always check the unit price. Sometimes the bigger packages look like a good deal, but they're not actually the best value when you look at the price per unit. So take a second to compare those unit prices and make sure you're really getting the most for your money. It's a simple thing that can make a big difference. Finally, let's talk about impulse buys. You know, all those tempting treats near the checkout or those end cap displays that seem to call your name? They're designed to make you spend more, and it's so easy to fall for it. But here's the thing. Most of that stuff, you don't really need it. It's just tempting in the moment, so how do you resist? Well, one strategy is to shop with a list and stick to it. Don't let yourself stray. Another is to avoid shopping when you're hungry, when your stomach's rumbling. It's way harder to say no to those snacks. And last but not least, give yourself a cooling off period. Before you buy anything that's not on your list, if you see something you really want, wait a day or two, you might find that you don't want it so much anymore, and you'll have saved yourself some money. So there you have it, a whole bunch of strategies to help you save money on groceries. Remember, it's all about making small changes that add up to big savings over time. And hey, maybe with all that extra money you'll save, you can finally treat yourself to something special.